Made one change. I hope you got your marks. Yesterday I released the marks of 12th class. Few students, okay. Still 8 students are left. So your marks are released. So one question was there, question 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Previously I had forgotten to make the change. So I made the change and I re-released the marks, okay. So just check it. Have you checked it?
Yes, ma'am.
So now you are getting 67 marks out of 70.
Ma'am,
Okay,
I
so
have a doubt also.
okay, 1 second. Let me open the paper first. Share the screen. Okay, I'm opening your paper. In which question?
Ma'am, question number 53.
Hmm. This kind of an expression, it's not allowed in SQL. It is allowed in Python, but not in SQL. If you had written where price is greater than, what is it? Where price is greater than equal to 10,000 and price is less than equal to 15,000, that would have been correct. This kind of an expression is only unique to Python, not other languages.
Ma'am, but I think it works in SQL.
Then you have to show me the proof then, okay? You can show it to me, I'll give you marks if you can.
Ma'am, I will create a table, then I will show you.
Then you show it to me first and then I'll just share your screen and I will tell you. And certain other things also I need to tell you. I wanted to tell you this one was correct. You are getting 2 marks here. This is also correct. Split doesn't accept more than 2 arguments. This I executed on my PC and checked. Okay, if you even run the program and check it, split doesn't accept more than 2 arguments. One argument is the separator and another argument is an optional argument that is number of splits. Okay, and you have provided multiple characters, so split doesn't split a string based on multiple characters one at once, right? So this program is giving an error. You can check it also.
Okay, ma'am.
So for this, I had taught you an alternative method that is you have to create your own function for splitting a string based on multiple characters. Extracting words. There was a short program we had seen in some other question. So that you could have implemented, right? Or because in this particular file extract, you don't have any other such um, symbol. That's why I think split based on space was sufficient here. Okay, this one was correct. Then, one more thing, Pradyum, I have given you full marks here this time, but you have to keep in mind that we are working with a data structure that is uh, queues, right? Now, this is the first and the last time I have given queues because, as according to the sample paper released by CBSE, queues are not there. So we will be concentrating mainly on stacks only. But you should remember one thing now that you have studied queues, that keeping a track of rear and front is also important because it's not just the linear list queue which you are handling, but it is also the data structure queue which you are handling. So you have to keep a track of its front and its queue status, right? Similarly, in stacks also you have to keep a track of top. It is not needed in Python, but you are looking at it as a data structure. And because data structure is something which is common to most programming languages, other programming languages, unlike Python, they don't manage stacks or lists dynamically, but Python handles lists dynamically, hence we don't require, but because it's a data structure, we have to stick to the norms of a data structure, right? So keep that in mind. Okay, here, this is okay. You missed out on select ANO comma amount from table. You
Yes,
missed out
yes.
on that. Okay, then next is how much are you getting here? 3.5. Only this was the mistake. Rest everything is correct. हाँ, यहाँ पे भी एक और चीज, record equals data cursor dot execute. ठीक है, you are executing it, but first of all it is data cursor dot execute. Okay, first you will not, it doesn't return any value. Data cursor dot execute function doesn't return any value, so it won't be record equals data cursor dot execute. You will first write data cursor dot execute like you do this, and then record equals, you have to fetch the records from cursor. Cursor is there, it once it executes SQL, it gets the required tuples, but from there when you have to extract something, you have to extract it into a result set. Okay, using the functions fetch one, fetch all, fetch many, right? So you missed out on that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so half marks cut for that. Fine. This was it, I made the correction, right? And your MCQ is almost correct. So I don't think any problem is there in MCQs. Going down, this is also correct. It's also correct. I have manually checked these, right? You can check the marks. This one. For the city, and then after this single quote close, comma has to be there. Okay, after the single quote close, comma has to be there. Okay, because there has to be a separator over here. You can see there is a separator after the static part. This is the static part, then we need a dynamic part, that is city, so there has to be a comma in between, then a comma, then again a static part, then again a dynamic part, that is max rating from customers group by city. So I've deducted half marks here. हाँ, यहाँ भी देखो वो that same thing is done. Okay, and this one, please, I think it should work. So I've given you 1 mark, but it was not required over here. Simply the question was, write an SQL query to display the number of products which are supplied by each supplier. So supplier code is also enough for that. So you could have simply written
No,
this.
ma'am, once or twice it happened that when it is a foreign key, then it gives error. That is why I've written like that.
No, why should it give error? Because you are grouping the tuples based on supplier code, and you're just counting those number of tuples. No, भाई supplier code जो है, अगर मान लो एक supplier है S1 and S1 is supplying how many times? 5 times. That is 5 items he is supplying. So in the table there should be 5 tuples for supplier S1, and you are grouping all the tuples based on each supplier code. Why should it give error?
Ma'am, because sometimes in my PC it gives error, so I have written like that.
Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll create a table. We'll create this table sometime, right? And then we are going to check all these um, queries. Okay, but it will not give error, dear. I have also executed these queries on my PC. It won't give error anyways. We'll see. Then, okay, connect, and here the question you didn't read. Used to create a cursor and execute an SQL query. You have to read, you have to insert both. Cursor equals con dot cursor and cursor dot execute SQL. Okay. So both statements have to be there. Rest is okay. I hope it is clear to you. So you
Yes.
are only getting the highest marks, that is 67, with a loss of 3 marks over here. Anybody else in the group who has any doubt? Let me see. Okay, Chirag didn't join today. There is very less attendance in the 12th class. Okay, so today we start with our class. Now, in the previous class, students, we have been working with, you have already seen, we have been working with all the standard library functions. We had seen split function, we had seen replace function, and we had seen the, which function? Join function, right? So today there is a question we will be doing. One second. So let me open the uh, whiteboard. There is a question. So we were seeing all these functions, right? These are certain library functions. And why we were seeing library functions? Because in order to understand how libraries are created, we have to first understand how these functions are called, how they are used in the program, and how they work. Okay. So that is the reason why we are learning these. Immediately after this, we will see two more such libraries, two more such modules. One is the random module and one is the URL lib module. These two are very important and very useful also in terms of your project. Okay. Just a second. Why is it not listing anything? Just take a look at this question. Write a program that inputs a main string and then creates an encrypted string by embedding a short symbol based string after each character. So first input a main string. That is our main thing. First we have to input a main string. Wait a second. Then you have to create an encrypted string by embedding a short symbol after each character. I hope you are understanding. This is how you read the question, right? Many of you have the habit of reading the question only up to some point within this question, right? And you start writing the answer. You don't read, you don't care to read the question till the end. So this I am telling to everyone. Okay, please read the question and try to understand first what is asked in the question. The program should also be able to produce the decrypted string from the encrypted string. So this is a kind of program which performs encryption also and decryption also. Understood? So how to do that? First step will be accept a string from the user. Second is accept the encryption key from the user. What is the encryption key? The small string containing some short symbols, right? So I'm just writing symbols over here. And it could be one symbol, it could be a collection of symbols also. It's up to you. Then encrypt the string and create an encryption, create a new string which is encrypted. And fourth option is decryption. You have to generate original string from the new string. Are the steps clear to everyone? This is what you have to do, right? So I am giving you all 2 minutes to do this. Take 2 minutes to think about the logic. What will you do? And then I will ask you. So I'm muting my mic for some time, and because there is too much of noise this side. So I'm just muting it so that you can think peacefully and then tell me. And I want an answer after 2 minutes. Yes, I hope everybody is done. Lot of time I have given to you. Those who can type, they will type. Others are going to give me the answer by unmuting themselves. Pradyum and Anshika will not give me the answer because they always give me the answer. Okay. So I'm going to ask this to Pratyush Kumar Singh and Krishanshu. What logic have you thought about? Now, students, you have to start working on this, right? You cannot always escape and say that, ma'am, I don't know, or I'm not able to think. Why is that so? Simple question it is. Okay. It's a very simple question. And there is total silence from your end. I don't understand why. At least you can give some answer. Absolute silence from your end. The teacher is a fool, right? Okay, Pratyush and Krishanshu, just switch on your webcam. I need to see you both. Just switch on your webcam, please. Pratyush and Krishanshu, I need to see your webcam. Switch on your webcam. Yes, Krishanshu. Unmute yourself. Unmute. Yes, tell me the answer. I can't see you. I can only see the fan rotating there. हाँ, बेटा बोलो क्या सोचा कैसे कर सकते हैं ये वाला प्रोग्राम. First, at least 2 statements you can tell me, no, accepting a string, accepting the encryption. I can't hear you. Maybe some problem. Can you type? I have the chat box open. Just type and tell me. Type कर लो बेटा, type कर लो. हाँ. Pratyush Kumar Singh, it means you are not there. I'll mark you absent. Then why is no response coming from your side? It is so annoying. If you cannot use the mic, you can at least use the chat box. Okay, look here everyone. I'm going to directly start with the program, okay? So I'm going to open a new file and I'm going to save it. And I'm going to save it with the name encryption decryption .py. Now everybody look here very carefully, okay? First thing is string, a string. So I'm just asking for a string from the user. So I will use input, enter a string. Second is key. That is a group of symbols. So enter the key for encryption. Fine. And now what you will be writing? Out of 3 functions, that is join, split and replace. 3 functions you have. One is join, one is split and one is replace. Which function can you use to insert the short symbol after each character of the string?
Join.
Yes, of course, you will be using join. And how will you be using join? Like this. So for join, what you are going to do is, because it returns a string, so you will write new string equals key dot join a string. So what will happen? It will take the key and it will embed it after each character of a string. So this is new string. So you will print encrypted string is new string. Then you are now going to remove that character so that you get back the original string. Which function can you use here? बस I just have to remove those characters which were embedded after each string, each character. So for this, I will be using the replace function. How? A string dot replace. Okay, and what am I going to replace? The key, because that was the only character or group of characters which were inserted after each character of a string. So उसको कैसे replace करेंगे? With an empty string, right? Let's do it. So I'm going to write old string equals. Now a string is already there, तो मुझे a string में कुछ नहीं करना है, right? I'm not going to disturb a string. I'm going to extract characters from the new string. So old string becomes what? A string dot replace. What we are going to replace? Key. With what we are going to replace it? With an empty string. Okay. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I only said that and I just typed this. Okay. Now we are going to write decrypted string is what? Your old string. Okay, let's run the program and check. So enter a string. So I'm just entering something. So I just wrote this. Enter the key for encryption. So I am entering this small key, which is a combination of two symbols. And now you can see first encrypted string, that is this key is embedded within the string, and even after space. Space is also a character. So space के बाद भी आ जाता है, but not after the last character. Okay, it is only within, embedded within the string after each character. Okay, and this is the decrypted string. This is not a string. A string is separate. This is what? New string. How we did that? We just replaced this thing. So I'm just taking a slice of it and I want to explain it to you. So I've just taken a slice of this, and you can see over here that each of these group of symbols, they are actually symbols within key, right? So they are to be replaced with an empty string. And what is an empty string? It is not even space. So when it is replaced by empty string, you get back, okay, you get, so this, after this there is a space. There is a space after this, so you get the original string back after using it this way. Got it? So this is how you can perform encryption and decryption also. So in your program, you can apply this. In your project, you can apply this. Now, next we are going to start with our random functions. The random module. So random module, you just have to import it in your program using the statements import random. Okay. And there are basically two functions which we are going to study in this. One is random function and one is randint function. These two functions primarily we are going to study in this. Now, how does the random function work? So random function is called in this way. You will first use the module name, then you will use the name of the function, and this returns, it returns a float value. Okay, between 0.0 and 1.0, but 1.0 is not inclusive. That is on the number line. You have 0.0, you have 1.0. Although they are integral values, but because this function returns float values, hence it returns any float value which lies in between this range. Okay, so 0.0 is included, but this 1.0 is not included. That means whatever float value you get, it will always be less than 1.0. Got it? So let us check out how this function works. Now this function returns a pseudo random number. These modules will always return a pseudo random number. That is why we are calling it a pseudo random number, because it is not something which is generated out of the blue. To the user of these modules, it will appear as if a random number is being generated out of the blue. That is by chance, any number generated by chance. Like I just tell you to start counting from 1 in your mind, and anytime I'll say stop, and you have to tell me the number which is there, which where you stopped in your mind. So that is what generating a random number, but you are following a certain technique to generate that number. Okay, कोई ना कोई टेक्निक आप यूज कर रहे हो उस नंबर को जनरेट करने के लिए. You are using a certain algorithm for generating that number. Hence, it is not a number out of the blue. Like I tell you to think, give me any random number, and randomly you say 96. That is random number. But I tell you to start counting in your mind. So in your mind you are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I cannot hear that. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I say stop. So you stopped at which number? 5, and you speak out that number. So to me, it will appear as if 5 is a random number. But for you, it was not randomly generated. It was, the counting started from 1, and at some point when stop was set, the number which was there was, the number which was which came into your mind was 5. So hence this is a pseudo random number which is generated. To the user of these modules, these numbers would appear as random numbers only. So let us check it out through the program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it in the interactive mode only. Import random. First of all, we have to do this. Okay. If you just check help on random, you will get a complete idea about what is there. So you can see this is the complete description, sequences, okay, distributions on the real line, and many other things are there. Okay, so we are not going to do all that. We are only going to concentrate mainly on these two types of random functions, right? Slowly and gradually, even you can find out about the other functions and you can use them. So I'm just going to use the random function here. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply writing print random dot random. That's it. And you can see out of the blue some number is generated here. Although it has been generated using a specific algorithm, so it is a pseudo random number, right? I want to generate 10 different random numbers. How to do that? I'm using a range function, and I'm writing print random dot random, and you can see 10 different random numbers are generated. Okay, so this is how random numbers are generated, and you can see they lie between 0 and 1. Okay, so now I'm giving you a program, a short program which you have to do. Just write it down. Okay, write the question. Write a program to generate 5 random numbers in such a way that when the program executes for the first time, one random number is generated. Okay. Then a message appears. Press any key to continue. Then another random number will be generated. So you have to write a program to generate 5 random numbers in such a way that when the program executes for the first time, one random number is generated, then a message appears, press any key to continue, then another random number will be generated. Got it? So this way, every time the user presses a key, a random number has to be generated. So how will you do this? Think, and I'm giving you some time, and post your programs over here. Take your time. Pratyush, okay, fine. I'm join and replace is the correct answer. Do this question, write the answer, program and post it here, okay? Yes, completed. Okay. I got one answer. You don't have to write if I equal to 5 break, because already you are taking range 5, which will take values from 0 to 4. It will already take values from 0 to 4. So when I is 0, okay, x equals, have I, yes. Everybody please look here, okay. This is a program. So when I is 0, right, x equals input, press any key. So you pressed any key, and when you press enter, it will print a random number, okay. Then next time when I is 0, again it will do. So it will already take, for is a loop which already runs for a fixed number of times. So you don't have to write break condition, or you don't have to use this if condition over here, right? Even without that, your program will work. Anyways, Krishanshu Kori, a good attempt by you. I really appreciate. Okay. Correct answer, as usual, Pradyum. Your program is otherwise correct. Just remove this if condition and break from there. Okay. You don't need that. So good attempt. This is how I want responses from you students. Okay. So everybody is going to do this program. I will not tell you the answer for this question. Next is we are going to see what is how to generate random numbers within a range, that is A to B, right? Where A is the lower limit and B is the upper limit. A is the lower limit and B is the upper limit. So for that, you will use the random function in this way. Please write down the formula. Into B minus A plus A. Got it? And here also, you can see this is how it works. That is, A is inclusive, but B is not inclusive. The number, random number can be equal to A, but it will always be less than B. Okay. So this is, and it returns the answer in float. It returns float. So if suppose you want to generate random numbers between 10 and 50. So 10 will be A, 50 will be B. And what will you write? Random into B minus A, that is 50 minus 10 plus A, that is 10. Understood? So you can simply write 40 over here, that is random multiplied by 40 plus 10. Fine, but please don't calculate this part and write, because you have to follow the operator precedence. Multiplication has higher precedence over addition. So first this random number has to be multiplied with this, and then the result has to be added to this. So kindly do not calculate this part, okay, which will give you 50 only. Don't calculate this part first and then do it, then multiply it, right? Follow the operator precedence first. So let us try this out. So we have this question over here. We will do it in the interactive mode only. So I'm going to write first, I'm going to ask for values from the user itself. So input, enter lower limit, and I'll write A as 10 and B equals int input, enter upper limit, and enter upper limit is 50. Okay, and I'm writing here print random dot random multiplied by b minus a plus a, and you can see 46 is 46.97709 and so on. This number is generated. Okay, so this is how you can generate random numbers within a particular range. If I also, okay, you people write this question. So I'm going to give you this answer now. I'm going to give you this question. Sorry. Question is, write a function. Sorry, I'm just telling you. Define a function in Python which accepts a range, that is two values a and b, or let me change it, L which is lower limit, L which is lower limit, U which is upper limit. Okay, L comma U, and generates 5 random numbers between this range. Okay, so this is the question. So you have to accept a range from the user, L and U, where L is the lower limit, U is the upper limit, and you have to generate 5 random numbers within this range. Can you do this question? I'm sending this question to you. You can do it and post your answers in Microsoft Teams itself. So I've sent it through chat. Please check it. I stop the recording.